Hey everyone, Attorney Matthew Sanchez here. Today let's talk about parental relocation, also known as move away in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You're going to get permission to relocate by one of two ways. You're either going to need a written agreement to relocate, get it in writing where it says, I agree to you relocating with a child to another state, or you're going to need the court's permission. You're going to have to file a motion to relocate with the court. If you try to just relocate without the court's permission, it can really come back to bite you. I've seen cases recently where a parent moved to Los Angeles without the court's approval, even though she had sole legal custody. The court said, no, you need to come back with the child, forced the parent to come back with the child. She then had to move back to New Mexico, litigate the issue here, get permission, and then could relocate. Very expensive process and time consuming. It can be, especially if you have to move. So get the court's permission or get the other parent's permission before you leave, even if you have sole legal custody. There's three reasons why relocation cases are some of the most difficult. The first one is it's a yes or no question. And the judge is going to say yes to the relocation, or they're going to say no to the relocation. It's not like most family law cases where it's a gray area on the best interest of the child. The second reason why it's so difficult usually is that the time and the expense. These cases can take a considerable amount of time because there probably is going to need to be an expert involved, like a guardian ad litem or an 11706 child evaluation, and they're going to need to interview all the individuals. They're going to need to listen to all the evidence, and they're going to need to make recommendations to the judge usually to determine the child's best interest. Most judges want to hear from a guardian ad litem or 11706. The third reason, the uncertainty with a high stress level is going to be a factor that's going to make this a stressful case. The time, the expense, it can stretch out considerably, and with the guardian ad litem, with the fees that can be mounting, it can get expensive. And even when a parent is able to relocate and they actually win the issue, they can still leave the case feeling burned because of the time and the expense involved. There's going to be a number of different factors that the court's going to consider when determining if it's in the child's best interest for you to move with the child. Ultimately, like most family law custody issues, it's all about the child's best interest. The court is child-centered. They want to know what's in the best interest for the child, not what's in your best interest. So they're going to look at a number of different factors. They're going to look at the family. Are there connections with New Mexico? Is the school in New Mexico? Are doctors and dentists and counselors, are they in New Mexico? What's the reason for the move? Is there a legitimate reason? Is it compelling? Are you moving for purely an economic advantage, or are there other benefits involved? Now, in New Mexico, these cases are kind of like a plant. And the more roots you have with New Mexico, the harder it's going to be for a parent to pull the child from New Mexico. So parents that are contesting the relocation, they're usually going to argue roots with New Mexico, connections with New Mexico, the time in New Mexico, and how taking the child out of New Mexico is detrimental to the child's best interest. If you're looking to prevent the other parent from relocating, if there's not already a case involved, and if the case doesn't have an order that says that the other parent needs your approval, then get a case started. File a petition to establish paternity, custody, and time sharing, request a temporary domestic order, and that temporary domestic order is going to state that the other parent cannot relocate without your express approval. And if they do, they're violating the temporary domestic order. You file a motion for the immediate return of the child, and the court can order them back, they can sanction them, and it's really going to hurt their case when they're violating a court order, because judges don't like it when you violate their court orders. So get that temporary domestic order. It's going to prevent the parent from just relocating without your permission. Do you still have questions about your relocation case? If so, take a look at the website. Look at the relocation page. There's going to be specific questions and answers that are going to be answered. There's going to be an FAQ section with detailed answers to specific questions. And if those don't answer your questions, then speak with me. Talk to Attorney Matthew Sanchez. I'll listen to your specific case. I'll hear the facts of your case, how it aligns with New Mexico law, and we'll get to the bottom of things.